Okay, let's think about this. We've all seen it, right? Piles of organic waste heading to landfills. It costs towns, cities, everyone a lot.
It really does. And at the same time, you've got farmers, local farmers, dealing with these constantly rising costs.
Yeah, animal feed, fertilizers, things they absolutely need, and often they're shipped from, well, all over the place.
Exactly. They feel like two completely separate problems, don't they? Waste disposal over here, agricultural costs over there, huge challenges.
Big ones. But what if, and this is fascinating, what if there was one solution, something that could actually link these two?
And not just link them, but turn them into something positive, like a local economic boost.
Precisely. We're going to dive into black soldier fly farming today. And the real story, I think, isn't just, oh, bugs eat waste.
No, it's much deeper. It's about how these insects unlock this hidden potential, a hyper-local economy that turns a liability, that waste, into real assets.
Right. It's finding out how a community's, biggest waste streams can actually become a new way to generate value, build resilience locally.
So this deep dive, we're really going to unpack how BSF farming can fundamentally change the game for waste, for farming costs, and really boost sustainability, right where you live.
Okay, let's get into the nuts and bolts. You described BSF farming as a closed-loop system. What does that actually look like, step by step?
Yeah, closed loop just means everything ideally gets reused within the system itself. Minimal waste out. Think of it like a mini ecosystem.
Okay.
It starts crucially with sourcing local organic waste. And we're not just talking about kitchen scraps from houses, though that can be part of it, maybe on a smaller scale.
Right, you need volume.
You need consistent volume.
Yeah.
So think food processors, places dealing with tons of fruit and vegetable scraps, maybe spent grains from a local brewery. That's ideal feedstock.
And supermarkets too, right?
Yeah.
Or restaurants, all that produce that doesn't sell, bakery leftovers.
Exactly. Spoiled produce, bakery waste, it adds up fast. Even things like agricultural residues from nearby farms, crop husks, maybe harvests that got damaged, all usable.
And the big win here for the community, for the businesses,
Yeah.
they're diverting all this stuff from the landfill.
Correct. So instead of paying disposal fees, which can be significant, they might even give it away or sell it very cheaply to the BSF farm.
Yeah.
It becomes a resource, not a cost, a kind of partnership.
Okay, so you've gathered all this diverse organic waste. What happens next? This is where the flies, or rather the larvae, come in.
This is where the magic, the biology happens. The BSF larvae, they are incredibly efficient eaters, just voracious. They consume that organic waste and convert it really efficiently into their own body mass. And that biomass is valuable.
How so? What do you get out of it?
You get several things. First, this protein-rich insect meal, it's fantastic for animal feed, chickens, pigs, fish.
Okay.
Then there's BSF oil. That has uses in feed too, but also potentially in things like cosmetics. And critically, you get frass.
Frass.
Yeah, frass.
Yeah.
It's basically their manure, their byproduct.
Yeah.
And it is an incredibly potent organic fertilizer, full of nutrients.
Wow. And the efficiency numbers are pretty stark, aren't they? I saw something like 1 ton of waste.
Yeah, the conversion is impressive. From 1 ton of typical organic waste, you can get roughly 100 kilograms of dried larvae.
Dried larvae.
And about 300 kilograms of this nutrient-rich frass. That's a serious transformation of waste into valuable products.
That really is.
Yeah.
So that leads us to the next step, using these products locally.
Exactly. Step 3 is getting that BSF meal into local livestock and fish feed. And it's not just a gimmick. It's a genuinely sustainable, high-quality protein.
So farms can actually substitute it.
Absolutely. Poultry farms, big farms, they can replace, say, 10 to 30% of the soybean meal they'd normally use with this BSF protein.
Which must have a big impact on their costs, given how expensive soy can be, especially imported soy.
Huge impact. Lower feed costs are a major driver. But you raised a good point earlier, is the resistance.
Yeah, I mean, feeding bugs to chickens, is everyone immediately on board?
Well, there can be some initial hesitation, sure, unfamiliarity. But the results tend to speak for themselves. We see great data like improved growth rates in fish farming, tilapia, trout. They thrive on it.
Okay.
So the key benefit really is cutting that reliance on expensive, often imported feed. Lower cost for the farmer, yes, but also a smaller carbon footprint for the whole operation. Less transport, less reliance on monoculture crops far away.
Right, that makes sense. So we've got the larvae-eating waste becoming feed of the furs, but you mentioned the frass, the fertilizer. That sounds like where the circular part really comes home.
It really is. Step 4 closes that loop, that frass, the insect manure. It's packed with plant-available nutrients so local vegetable farmers can use it.
How does it compare to, say, regular compost or chemical fertilizers?
It's very effective. It improves soil health, boosts the beneficial microbes in the soil, and that leads directly to better crop yields. We're seeing really positive results.
And here's the really neat part, right? The connection back.
This is the elegant bit. The waste from those same vegetable crops, maybe the outer leaves, the trimmings, unsold produce, that can then go back into the system.
As feedstock for the next batch of black soldier fly larvae.
Exactly. It creates this self-sustaining cycle. The waste from the farm, fertilized by the frass, feeds the flies that create the frass. It's almost zero waste in concept.
That's textbook circular economy, but happening right there, locally.
Precisely. Optimized for the community.
Okay, theory is great, but let's make it real. The sources mention a specific example, a mid-sized BSF farm. How did they make this network function?
Right. This case study really shows it in action. This particular farm, they set up agreements with 2 local supermarkets. Consistent weekly supply of vegetable waste. Very important.
Okay, reliable inputs.
And they partnered with a local brewery for spent grains. Again, a steady, predictable stream of organic material. That's foundational. You need that reliable feedstock.
Makes sense. And then on the output side, selling the meal and the frass.
Yeah, that's the other crucial piece. They connected with 3 local poultry farms who started buying the BSF meal.
Okay.
And they built relationships with 5 local vegetable growers who were keen to use the frass fertilizer. So buyers for both main products.
And what were the results? Did it actually make a difference?
The results were pretty tangible. The poultry farmers, they reported cutting their feed costs by about 30%.
30%, that's significant.
Very significant. And the vegetable growers using the frass, they saw their crop yields go up by around 20%.
Wow, better yields and potentially lower fertilizer costs if the frass is priced competitively.
Exactly. And for the wider community, maybe the most direct impact, they were diverting 5 tons of organic waste from the landfill every week.
5 tons a week, just from this one setup. That's impressive. Thinking about that case study, though, building those partnerships sounds like the trickiest part. Getting the supermarkets, the brewery, the farmers all aligned, it can't be easy.
No, it definitely requires a strategy. For the waste providers, the supermarkets, the brewery, you often need to make it easy for them.
How so?
Maybe offer free, reliable waste pickup. That's a big incentive. Frame it as part of their sustainability goals, their corporate social responsibility. It's not just about saving on disposal fees. It's also good PR, verifiable environmental benefit.
Right, appealing to more than just the bottom line. And what about the farmers, getting them to try a new feed or fertilizer?
Yeah, with farmers, it's usually about proof. Show them the value. Offering free trials of the BSF meal or the frass is a great start. Let them see the results themselves.
Let the chickens decide, basically.
Kind of. And share success stories, hard numbers. Like, hey, Farm X down the road, they saved $5,000 last year using our meal. That gets attention. Data talks.
And I imagine local government has a role to play in all this, making it easier.
Oh, absolutely essential. You need to work with local government. Advocate for policies that support this, maybe waste-to-feed incentives, tax breaks, grants. See if BSF operations can be integrated into existing community composting programs or waste management plans. Making it part of the official infrastructure helps smooth the path.
And what about just general awareness? Does the public need to understand this?
Hugely important. Educating the wider community builds support. You could host farm tours, let people actually see the process waste coming in, valuable feed going out. It demystifies it.
Yeah, seeing is believing.
Or even simple things, like short videos for social media. Here's how our town is turning trash into treasure, Make it accessible. These are things you, listening, could even help initiate or support in your own community. Get people involved.
So when you step back and look at the whole picture, BSF farming isn't just about waste or feed. It seems to touch on so many different areas.
It really does. The broader benefits are quite wide-ranging. You've got significant waste reduction, obviously, less landfill pressure, lower disposal costs for everyone.
Right.
You have real feed cost savings for farmers, replacing those expensive imports like soy and fish meal with something produced locally.
And the crop productivity boost from the frass for the vegetable growers. Better soil, better yields.
Plus, new local jobs. Think about it, jobs in operating the BSF farm, processing the larvae, logistics, sales. It's a whole new little industry.
Industry at that.
Exactly. And that ties into the carbon footprint reduction. Less methane from landfills, fewer emissions from transporting feed halfway across the world, It addresses multiple big challenges all at once.
So for anyone listening who's intrigued by this, thinking, could this work here?
Yeah.
What are the first practical steps? How does a community even begin exploring this?
Well, the sources suggest a pretty clear, phased approach. Don't try to do everything at once.
Okay.
First step, map out your local waste streams. Talk to the potential sources, grocers, food processors, breweries, maybe even large restaurants or institutions. Find out what kind of organic waste is available and how much. Understand the landscape.
So do your homework first.
Right. Then start small. Maybe run some small-scale tests. See how BSF larvae grow on the specific types of waste you actually have available locally. Different wastes might need slightly different conditions.
Experiment a bit.
Exactly. Prove the concept on a small scale first. Then, maybe pilot a partnership. Find one friendly local farmer, perhaps a poultry farmer, and supply them with feed for, say, 3 months.
Get some real-world data, build trust.
Precisely. Demonstrate the benefits tangibly. Once you have that initial success, then you can start to scale. Gradually bring on more waste suppliers as you need them. Find more buyers for the meal and frass as you can produce it.
Scale with the demand you're building.
Yeah, it's a more measured, sustainable way to build this local BSF ecosystem. Grow it organically, you could say.
Well, this has been a really insightful look at black soldier fly farming. It's clear it's about far more than just flies eating garbage.
It really is. It's about reimagining waste as a resource,
Right.
about closing loops within our communities, creating local value, and building, ultimately, more resilient and sustainable food systems.
So here's something to think about as we wrap up. Imagine if if every community could genuinely transform its waste stream into local wealth, into healthier local food. What kind of ripple effect could that truly have on the economy, on the environment? It's a powerful idea to consider for your own backyard.